Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So, have you created one account in Amazon Web Service? Please write yes in the chat box if you have created.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What about others? Misal has created. Okay. Any other person? Okay. For today's hands-on, you need one account in Amazon Web Service. So those who have not created, so just go to Amazon Web Service and create your account by providing the basic details, your name and email ID, mobile number, country, basic details you have to provide in order to create one account in the Amazon Web Service. Okay. So those who have not done, please do it, because I will tell you the theoretical aspect first. Then I'll tell you uh, how to carry out certain tasks in Amazon Web Service. Okay. So there are, you know, that there are variety of services are provided by Amazon Web Service. In theoretical classes, we have discussed about Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Elastic Compute Cloud, which we called as EC2. Another service is called a Simple Storage Service, Simple Storage Service, which is called as S3, because their initials are starting with S. That's why we call S3. Here also you can see there is 2C. That's why we're saying C2, right? Like that, these are the popular services. But apart from these two services, there are numerous of services that is available in Amazon Web Service. And you know, Elastic Compute Cloud, or you go to Amazon S3, both are providing which type of services? These two are providing which type of services? You know, different type of services. Can anybody tell what are the services provided by Amazon EC2 and Amazon S3?
Cloud services is one.
Which service?
Cloud service?
Definitely, all are cloud service only. But I told you there are three different type of services, right? One is called as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, right? So out of these three services, which service is your Amazon S3 or Amazon EC2? Any guess? Choose one of the service from IAS, PAS, and SAS. Anyone? Did you get my question? I am asking, there are two different type of services we are going to discuss. One is Amazon EC2 and Amazon S3. These two services comes under which service model? Whether it is IAS or PAS or SAS.
SAS?
Okay, one answer came in SAS. What about others? Any guess?
IAS.
Yeah, IAS one. Okay. What about others? Choose one of the service. You have only three services, right? IAS, PAS, SAS. Only you have to tell whether it is under infrastructure or platform or software. EC2 or S3. So basically, these two services comes under your infrastructure as a service, not software as a service. Because if you recall, infrastructure as a service provides you the computational need, or you can say compute cloud, also provide you the storage cloud, right? By creating virtual machines you have studied, right? So these two, this computational services is provided by your EC2, storage service is provided by S3, right? That's why this computation and storage both comes under the infrastructure as a service. But in order to use this service, you need a web browser, right? Like in Google Meet also, you are attending through your web browser. So that web browser is considered as an interface that comes under our software as a service, right? But these services are under infrastructure as a service, not in the software as a service, not in the platform as a service. Now, what actually we are going to do, if you create one account under Amazon Web Service, you can do certain experiment free of cost, subjected to some resource limitation. You cannot exceed the resource quota. You can see what kind of task you can do in real life, right? This Amazon S3 is a live site. Whatever you want to do, it is completely open to all. Suppose you want to create a static website, then that static website is shown to, it is available anywhere, or anybody can see that particular website. Like today, whatever hands-on we are going to do, you will see the same thing. Whatever you are doing, anybody can access it. Once you provide the link, or once you share the link, anybody can access it. Okay. Like somebody is giving you a YouTube link to watch a particular video, and once you click it, you can see that YouTube video, right? Similar way, in Amazon S3, we can do a certain task through which you can see the things are available to anyone, irrespective of the location, right? So let us focus in today's class related to Amazon S3. Okay, first we'll go through Amazon S3, then we'll go for Amazon EC2. Okay, so basically we are going to do 5 different tasks in Amazon S3. Okay, what is the first task? The first task is to create a bucket. Create a bucket. You can say I want to create a bucket in Amazon S3. Okay, just like we have seen water bucket, right? Similarly, I want to create a bucket which is available to me through Amazon Web Service, right? So you have to provide the name of the bucket. Bucket means you have to provide what is the name of the bucket, and also you have to specify the location of the bucket, in which location you want to deploy this particular bucket, right? And you can also see what kind of policies enforced to this particular bucket. Like in our computer, we have C drive, we have D drive, we have E drive, other drives. So you can put certain kind of restrictions. Like you can say C drive, anybody can see. D drive, it is password protected. Okay, and the password is known to you, the owner, or you only. And E drive, anybody can see. Certain type of restrictions and permissions you can put into each and every drive, right? The first job is we have to create a bucket. So why we are creating a bucket? Because inside this bucket, we can put many objects, right? This is my bucket. Inside this bucket, I want to put different objects. These are nothing but called as your objects, right? So the second task what we are going to do is that add a add an object to the bucket. First, we'll create a bucket. Second, we will add not only one bucket, one object. We will put a set of objects. First, I will tell you one object. Then I'll ask you to put as many as bucket inside this, as many as objects inside this particular bucket. Right? That is our second task. The third task is all the buckets are not public. Some buckets may be private, some buckets may be public. Some in private also you have several permissions. So our third task is to manage access permissions on an object. For example, you want to make a particular object as public, another object is private. Right? One object is public, another object is private. Or you want entire bucket is private. So these are nothing but the permissions. Permissions means either it is a public so that anybody can access. Private means it is limited to one individual or it is limited to a particular group. Right? Now we'll see another task which is called as how to create a bucket policy. Okay, like we have discussed about some standard and guidelines while we are discussing the various service level agreement or various other topics related to cloud computing. I told you open standards, APIs, these are very much essentials. Similarly, here we'll see how to create a bucket policy. So these bucket policies are nothing but our JSON files. What is JSON file? Can anybody tell? What is the full form of JSON? What is the full form of JSON?
Sir, JavaScript object notation.
Yes. This is nothing but JavaScript. All of you are working in JavaScript, right? More or less you know about JavaScript object notation. So this JSON is a standard text-based format for representing structured data based on JavaScript object syntax. Okay, these are definitions you can find in public domain, right? So writing the policy in JSON makes you to restrict a particular object or a bucket to public or private. But now the question arises, if you are not familiar with the JSON and how to write the bucket policy. Okay, either you can understand how the JSON policies are written. Based on that, once you know how to write the policy, you can write your own policy. But if you are not aware that how to write the policy, still you can write the policy by setting few configurations. Automatically the code is going to be generated. And once the code is generated, directly you can copy paste that code and set as a policy. Right? Fifth part is use bucket versioning. What is versioning? Can anybody guess what is versioning? What is versioning? You know, like we are now using Windows 10, right? Maybe in future we are going to Windows 11. Already it is released. Few people are also using Windows 11. Prior to Windows 10, we have Windows 7, we have Windows XP, Windows Vista, and other versions. So these are nothing but different versions. Like when you go for development of software, also you can see we represent each and every development with a version. Like while downloading the software also, you are looking into the version. Okay. Again, each version may be 32-bit, maybe 64-bit. Maybe it is compatible with one operating system. Another version is may compatible with other operating systems, right? Uh, okay, it varies, right? With respect to a particular software, it has certain requirement, whether you can install in Windows or Linux operating system like that, right? So that is called as bucket versioning. So why to maintain the versions? Because sometimes we need to change files, right? Suppose you have uploaded a particular file and you found that that particular file is having some bug or certain things you want to add into that particular file, but it is not there. Then what you will do? You have to upload another file, updated file. So that is also one type of version, right? So when you are considering different version of the same file, we need version, right? Then also we need to see another task here. What is the use of delete marker? Okay, there is a concept called delete marker in Amazon S3. Delete marker says that if a particular object is deleted, it is not going to delete from the your Amazon account. Just like you are deleting a particular file, that file is moved to where? Recycle bin. Right? The file is moved to recycle bin. Okay. Then if you delete from the recycle bin, then it will be permanently deleted. Or there are some other methods to again recover from that, but that is different story, right? So similarly, if a object is deleted from your Amazon S3, that object is marked with the delete marker. Okay, it is marked with the delete marker. So this delete marker will help you if you want to again restore a particular file. You have decided no, this file should not be deleted. So I want to simply delete a particular file, or I want to recover that particular file. Either you want to permanently delete that file from that recycle bin, or you want to restore that particular file. So in that case, this delete marker will help you to retrieve your object. Okay. Similarly, you can create as many as number of buckets possible. The total number of buckets you can create in Amazon S3 is 100. Here we are talking about one bucket, but imagine you can create up to 100 buckets. What are these meaning of these buckets? One bucket I can set up for BTech student, let's say BTech final year. Another bucket I can set up for MTech first year. Another bucket I want to say for BTech third year, BTech second year, BTech first year. So the respective materials which I want to share to the students, I can put in the respective bucket. And students are given access to that particular bucket, so they can access and get the objects inside that particular bucket. Right? So what we are going to do one by one, these experiments, okay, we are going to do in Amazon Web Service. Okay. So I request all of you to please open your Amazon Web Service account. For those who have not created, you simply create your Amazon Web Service account. Either you write Amazon Web Service, or you can write the Amazon EC2 also, or you write Amazon S3 and go to your respective account. Okay. This you can see, as I told you, you can get after creating an account, you will get 750 hours per month for 12 months with Amazon Web Service free trial. Okay. Similarly, if you see other services also, if you go for EC2, sorry S3 case, you will get 5 GB. As I opened Amazon EC2, so it is showing only Amazon EC2, right? But if you look into normal Amazon Web Service, you will also see 5 GB of storage is given to you in Amazon S3. So those who created account, you sign into your account. with your username and password. Okay, it is asking me whether I am a root user or IAM user. I am a root user, and it is asking me to write my email ID. So I have entered my email ID. Now it is asking me to set the password. Let me type my password. Okay. Now, once you provide your username and password, you can reach to Amazon Web Service homepage, or you can say console. Are you getting up to this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other persons, what you are doing? You can do. You can also create an account, right? Other participants, other students, you can create account, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So now, what you can do here, you can see here in the left corner, you will find services, right? So if you go for services, you may get the services with respect to these are the different areas. Like nowadays, you know about AR and VR. What is this? AR and VR, what is the full form? Can anybody tell?
Augmented reality and
Augmented
virtual reality.
Exactly. Okay. Nowadays, we are talking about blockchain. We talk about Internet of Things. We talk about machine learning. Okay. We talk about robotics. We talk about satellite. Okay. Or 5G applications and so on. Right. Some certain services are available to you. So whatever applications you are targeting when you would join a particular company, you will see your company may be interested in blockchain, or they may be interested in IoT. So accordingly, you have to gain expertise in the respective domain. So now, as I said, if you go for, you nowadays also we are talking about container. Container is more lightweight in comparison to virtual machine, right? So such type of experiments you can find here. Okay, go to the Amazon manual. In Amazon manual, you will get what are the certain tasks you can do using Amazon Web Service, and see that particular manual. What are the tasks? How to carry out that task? Accordingly, you can create your Amazon Web Service account and use the service. So if you go for compute, let me click on compute. So it is showing these are the services under compute. So you can see this is here you have EC2. Okay, it is saying virtual server in the cloud. So if you click EC2, then it will redirect you to the EC2 homepage. Earlier you are in the Amazon Web Service homepage. Now you are redirected to Amazon EC2 homepage, right? So this is the dashboard kind of thing. Here you can see none of the instances is running now, right? There is no load balancer. Okay, there is no instances you have created. There is no auto scaling group. Okay, but there is one by default one security group, or sometimes some default groups are given to you, right? And this is your default BPC. Okay, and you can learn about what are the different encryptions. Okay, different zones, different EC2 serial console. You can get the details. So if you want to launch a particular instance, you can click here. Okay, this is related to EC2, I am saying. So once you click this launch instance, then you have to provide your instance name. Then you have to provide whether you want Amazon Linux, or you want Mac operating system, or Ubuntu, or Microsoft, or Red Hat. You can see there are number of operating systems are there. Okay, and there are different configurations are also available. Like in the free tier, they are giving these two instances. You cannot create as many number of instances possible. You cannot create as many sizes of the as many you can say big sizes of instances, these are not applicable because you are in the free tier. Now you can see in the free tier they are giving you 3 different instances, so you have to choose one instance out of these 3 instances, right? Then you can see these are the different instances available in Amazon S3, sorry, Amazon EC2. So you can go to Google, type about Amazon EC2 instance. Once you click Amazon EC2 instance, I'll share this link with you. You can open it also. Okay, see here, these are the different instances available to you. So it is written here, general purpose instances provide a balance of compute, memory, and networking resources. So an instance basically contains of one computational power, networking resources, and can be used for a variety of diverse workloads. These instances are ideal for applications that use these resources in equal proportions, such as web servers and code repositories. So basically, you can see here different groups of instances are available. But here you can see we are talking about which series? T2 series. Check here whether T2 series is available or not. Can anybody locate me? Where is T2 instances?
Sir, the last one.
Exactly. So I am showing you a simple illustration of T2 instances, but you can create any instance subjected to it is available in the free tier. Otherwise, they will charge you, right? So for demo purpose, you can use this T2 instance. It is free. So you can see under T2 instances, we have 7 different instances. Their names are nano, micro, small, medium, large, X large, and 2X large, right? So as the name suggests, nano means small, 2X large means big, right? So these instances are different from each other in terms of virtual CPU, which is represented as a vCPU here. CPU per credit per hour. Generally, we consider 1 credit per hour. If you run 2 machines, then 2 credit per hour. Memory size in GB. Storage method, that is EBS, that is called as elastic block storage, and network performance. So as big, if you go for big instances, definitely network performance is high. Storage, you will find the best method. Memory is high. CPU credit per hour is more. Virtual CPU is also more. So whenever you want some experiment for your BTech project, or whenever you want to do experiment for your company, first you have to decide how many virtual CPUs are needed. Okay. So for here example, here if you go for instances, they are showing you T2.micro instances is freely available. Okay. So you can see here or note down also this price. Okay, one class I told you about different pricing schemes, if you remember. Right? What are the pricing schemes we have discussed? Can anybody tell? I told you different pricing schemes. At least one method, can you recall?
Yes, sir. Charging
Yeah.
fixed supply and demand.
Yes, that is method. But I told you about fixed max scheme, fixed mean scheme, Libra plus dollar, Libra plus dollar auto, mean, max. These are the different pricing schemes I told you. Oh, also, these are coming under, as you said, it is correct. That is either supply demand, fixed charging. Based upon that, you can categorize. So here you can see on-demand Windows pricing scheme is you have to pay 0.0162 US dollar per hour. But if you go for SUSC, SUSC, right, then you get 0.0116 USD per hour. RHEL pricing is 0.0716 USD and Linux pricing is 0.1116 USD per hour. So with respect to different type of operating system or platform, the prices also varies with respect to uh, hour, right? With respect to the time you consider as an hour. So if you go for T2 micro instance, it is also written here, you will get one virtual CPU. Go to T2 micro instance. How many virtual CPUs you are getting? You are getting one virtual CPU and 1 GB of memory. You can see here. This 1 GB of memory. Right? Suppose you need more instance, then you can choose higher instance, but you have to pay. It is written free tier eligible for T1 micro, T2 micro. You can see there are number of experiments are there, right? If you go for the end, then you can find here there are 48 B CPUs are there. Memory available is 384 GB memory. Okay. So based upon your requirement, you can decide which instances is suitable for you, right? That's why I told you, you have to revisit this page and you can find different instances available here and you can map these instances into this search, right? So I'll tell you more about this EC2 in upcoming classes, but today we are going to discuss about Amazon S3. So Amazon S3, in order to get Amazon S3, you have to go to services, then you can go for storage. Storage is at the end. Okay. So there is another service also, security, identity and compliance. I'll tell you in upcoming classes another hands-on, through which you can create a different security policies. You can create different accounts under the security. Okay. Let us go to the storage. Under storage, these are the different services we have. One of the popular services is S3. Okay. So let us click S3. Once you click S3, you will reach to Amazon S3 console or homepage. Have you reached here? Go to services, then click storage, click S3. You will be redirected to the home page of S3. Are you getting up to this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is our first task? Our first task, as I mentioned here, you have to create a bucket. So let us go to the home page. See where is a option to create a bucket. Here you can see there is a option that create a bucket. So every object in S3, object is inside the bucket, right? So every object in S3 is stored in a bucket. You can create up to 100 bucket. So you have to store your object inside one of the bucket if you have more than one. And to upload files, not only you can upload a particular file, but if you want a particular folder to be uploaded in the S3 also, you can do it. Okay, to upload files and folders to S3, you will need to create a bucket where the object will be stored. So simply click create bucket. So once you create a bucket, you will come to this particular page. Okay, so we can say buckets are the container or data stored in S3. Why we are creating a bucket? To store a set of objects into the bucket. Now it is asking you to certain informations like the way you created a AWS account by providing certain information. Here also you have to provide certain information. Now it is asking to enter bucket name. Suppose I am writing bucket name is my name, right? So if this name is available, then only it will be provided to you. Like websites, you know, right? Website, if somebody has created, right, in a particular domain name or with some name, so you cannot create another website in that particular name, right? That's why bucket name should be as unique as possible. Okay, and if you want to see the rules for bucket naming, you can click here. So these are the rules you have to follow in order to create the bucket names. What are the rules? First rule is bucket name must be between 3 to 63 character long. Bucket name can consist of only of lowercase letter, numbers, dots, and hyphens. Bucket name must be begin end with a letter or a number. Bucket name must not contain two adjacent periods. Bucket name must not be formatted as an IP address like 192.168.5.4. Bucket name must not start with the prefix xn hyphen hyphen. Okay, like that, there are certain rules are written, so you can go through it. So better you write a name which is not available in the Amazon bucket list, right? So that is going to be accepted. So maybe in my name it is not there. Let us check while you submit this information, then only it will tell whether this name is available or not. Now, Amazon Web Service is having certain regions. Regions means area. Like our country is divided into different states. States are divided into different districts. Again, districts are divided into, let's say, small cities and villages and other things, right? Now, if you go for AWS region, you can see these are the different regions available. Like one region is, there are certain regions are coming under United States, like US East. There is two different region. We call that as a US East 1, US East 2. North Virginia is coming under US East 1. Ohio is coming under US East 2. Similarly, US West is nothing but your North California, and US West 2 is your Oregon. Okay, so like that, US is having 4 different regions. Africa has a region, but temporarily it is disabled. Under Asia Pacific, you have certain region, but again, some of the region is disabled now because they will come in near future. So if you see in under Asia Pacific region, you have Asia Pacific. AP stands for Asia Pacific South 1, which is placed in Mumbai. And very soon they want to launch another region in Hyderabad. Okay, that is called as AP South hyphen 2. Is another region they are going to set up very soon. Amazon already announced this particular region, but now it is in disabled state. You will find only 2 different regions in Indian context. Similarly, Canada is having one region, Europe is having some region, Middle East is having some region, but it is disabled, and South America is having one region. But as we have in free tier, so you need not change this region. So you can see also, this bucket is going to be created in US East 1 region. Don't change the region. Okay. But when you really wants to create a bucket for your organization where you are ready to pay some amount, you can choose in any region. There is no way, no problem. But by default, it is showing US East 1. That's why I am not changing it. Now, a bucket is having certain rules and regulation. So while we are creating a particular bucket, whatever security policies you have enforced, if you want the same policy need to be enforced to this newly created bucket, you can do it. So it is saying here, copy setting from existing bucket. So if you have any bucket, suppose your organization uses Amazon S3, they have set up something for the Asst bucket. Okay, they have created certain buckets, right? So whatever security they have enforced in a particular bucket, the same security policy they want to put in a newly created bucket. What they have to do? They have to click choose bucket, find the bucket, select it, then the same configuration is copied to this particular bucket. Like virtual machine case also, if you have created a particular virtual machine, if you want to copy the same configuration while creating a new virtual machine, that also you can do. Similarly, here it is asking you about the object ownership. So object means whatever things you are keeping inside the bucket, that is called as your object ownership. So in a object ownership, so this object ownership is generally used to control the objects, right? Like I told you, public permission, private permissions, right? So control ownership of objects retained to this bucket from other AWS account and the use of access control list, that is called as ACL. So initially the ACL is disabled, but once you configure everything, you can enable it. Okay. So initially I am not making it public so that you can find the difference between public and private. Then later point of time, we are going to enable this ACL. Okay. Now it is asking block public access setting to for this particular bucket. So initially, all the public access is blocked. We have blocked all the public access. Again, also you can see there are certain policies are there, like block public access to bucket and objects granted through new access list, access control list, or block public access buckets objects granted through any access control list. This is about new access control list, but this is about any access control list. Similarly, block public access to buckets and objects granted through new public bucket and access point policies. Similarly, block public and cross-account access to buckets and objects through any public bucket or access point policies. So there are different type of policies are there. Like if you see in a company, there is a hierarchy, right? Starting from lower level employee to the higher level employee. So certain file is accessible to lower level employee, but it is uh, uh, certain file is limited to the lower level employee, but it is not limited to higher level employee. High level employee, they can see any file, but lower level employee has not given permission to open all the file or take any operations or execute any kind of operations. Like when you visit any bank, right, for demand draft, or if you want to deposit certain amount, some amount greater than, let's say, some predetermined amount, then once a particular person has initiated your transaction, another person has to review it and approve it. Okay, one cashier has to initiate it, another person has to verify it and approve it. So there are multiple people are involved in this particular process. Okay, now this is bucket versioning. I told you bucket versioning is initially disabled. So later point I'll tell you how to enable it and what kind of things you can do by the help of bucket version. Similarly, default encryption is your AWS, Amazon S3 managed keys, or you can select AWS key management service key. Okay, like that, there are certain different configurations are there, and you can set these things based upon your requirement. So let me click create bucket. So it is saying bucket with this particular name already exists. So let me write NITW. So if I create a bucket with this name, so now the bucket is created. Okay. So all of you give a unique name or your name followed by last 4 digits of your mobile number or any unique name you can provide or postal code. Your name followed by the postal code. Certain things you have to give which is very unique so that you can create your bucket. How many of you created bucket? Write yes in the chat box. Or if you are facing any issue, then tell me, I'll tell you. Are you able to create one bucket? Yes. Okay. So first job is done. In fact, it is a very simple one. Just you have clicked and created a bucket. And next, other experiments are more important than this particular experiment. So in which region you have created? You have created in US East, North Virginia, US hyphen East hyphen one region you have created, right?
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, please.
same region. The default region was different for me.
It's okay, no problem. Any region you can create, there is no issue. Just I am telling you, just means as we are in free tier, so there may be some kind of restrictions. But if you are not in free tier, then there is no such restrictions. You can create in any region, right? Okay, no, there is no issue related to bucket name and region, right? And you can see here, initially, as per our configuration, bucket and objects are not public. And we created this bucket in February 28, and this is our UTC time, right? It is showing you Indian Standard Time, that is 3:44 p.m., which is universal time plus 5 hours 30 minutes, that you know, right? Okay, first part is done. We have created the bucket, we have specified the name, and we have specified the location. So why this location is important, this region or this zone is important, because you know different country is having different laws, regulations, security policies, right? That's why different regions are given, right? Many people may not be, they may not like to create their bucket in one particular region, so they can choose other regions for creating the bucket. Okay. Now the second experiment is how to add an object to the bucket. So for this, what do you mean by object? Object may be anything. Object may be a audio file. Object may be a video file. Object may be as simple as a image file. It may be a, you can say object may be a text file. It may be anything. For example, suppose I want to go to NIT Warangal. I want to search in the Google. I'll go to the images and I want to drag this particular image into my desktop. Okay, randomly choose one image. Okay, you can see I have just copied this particular image and dragged this image to my desktop. And let me rename this image as NITW. So you can drag any image, or if it is available in your laptop or desktop, then it is fine. And let me create one text document also. Okay, let the text document name is demo, and I want to write, we are studying Amazon. Okay, so I have two files now in my desktop. One is NITW, another is demo. Okay, now I want to upload this inside this particular bucket. So this is my bucket name. Once you click it, you can upload your object here, right? So see here, there is a upload button, or there is a upload button here. You can drag and drop these images or text file. Okay, not only this text file or images, if you want audio, video, whatever you want, or a particular folder also, you can upload into this inside this particular bucket. Okay, let me click upload. Then I want to add files. I have selected, let's say, where is it? I will go to my desktop. In my desktop, I want to select NITW. Okay, so it is an image and JPEG file. The size of this image is 848.7 KB, and simply I have clicked upload. So within a fraction of a second, it is going to upload it. So now upload is successful. So all of you do the same process. I'm giving you 1 minute time. You drag a image, or in your computer, if you have your a photo or any wallpaper that you upload as a object inside this bucket.
Sir, could you show once again the previous step? I couldn't catch it.
Yeah. So we are here before this particular step. I clicked my bucket name. Then you will see there is an object tab. You have to simply click upload, then add files, upload, add files, go to your respective folder where your file is available. For example, I want to now upload a text file. The text file name is this text file which I have written. We are studying Amazon S3, and just I have opened it. Okay, so this file name is demo.txt. It is a text plain file. Size is 26 bytes, and simply I have clicked upload. Okay, so I have uploaded two different objects into my bucket. So let me tell you again this process. You have to simply click upload, click add files. Suppose I want to upload this architecture. Let me rename it by architecture. Okay, this architecture we have discussed in one class, which we call as market-oriented architecture. I have opened it. It is a PNG file. This image file is a PNG file. Size is 63.1 KB, and I have simply clicked upload. So within a fraction of a second, it is going to upload into your bucket. Yeah. Have you uploaded? You write in the chat box if you've uploaded some at least 1-2 objects into your bucket. Yeah. Only 2, 3. Okay. So if you have uploaded this bucket, that is our second point of discussion. That is add an object to the bucket, right? The second part is also done. Now we have uploaded the bucket. We have created a bucket and uploaded the object. Now we'll see how to provide permissions to these objects, because permission is important. With this permission, you can say somebody can access your object. The primary objective is to give access to the people who actually wants this particular informations or these objects, right? Suppose I want to share some study material, right? The study material I'll upload in Amazon S3, and you can upload, you can extract it, right, from your by clicking a particular URL. So before going to this permission, see how to access a particular object. So this is one object I have uploaded. First, I have uploaded nitw.jpg. If you click nitw.jpg, these are the information related to your object. Okay, owner is my name, right? My email ID. Actually, this is my username. AWS region is US East 1. This bucket, this object is last modified at this particular time. Size is this one, type is this one, key is this one. So these three are the important thing. First one is called as S3 URI. What is URI? Can anybody guess what is the full form? You know about URL, this one. URL. What is URL?
Uniform Resource Identifier.
Yeah, that is URI is Uniform Resource Identifier. This is your Uniform Resource Locator, right? Our websites are called as URLs, right? So each and every object in Amazon S3 is given as a unique URI. See here, S3 : S3 is your service name : then Sanjay NITW is my bucket name slash nitw.jpg is my object name. So it is very simple. No need to remember. S3 colon double slash bucket name slash your object name. Right? Similarly, here you can see Amazon resource name. Amazon resource names always starts with ARN. ARN is the acronym for Amazon resource name, colon AWS, colon S3, triple column. Then after triple column, you have bucket name slash your object name. Right? Bucket name is Sanjay NITW and your object name is nitw.jpg. Similarly, each and every object is assigned with a tag. Right? Like whenever you want to upload a particular video in the YouTube, your whatever topics you have discussed, you just add it in as a tag. So if somebody is searching that particular tag, automatically your video will come in the search result. Just like in research article also, we are writing keywords, right? Through that keywords, we can access that particular research article, or we can search that particular research article, right? And this object URL you need to use to extract that particular image or that file or audio and video. So it is https colon double slash your bucket name, that is Sanjay NITW dot S3 dot Amazon AWS dot com slash NITW dot JPG. So this I'll share with you. So, or you can directly click here. The object URL is copied. I'm putting in the chat box. Can somebody open it and tell me whether you are able to access it or not?
No, sir.
No. So you are getting this error. Even if I am also getting this error, which says this XML file does not appear to have any style information associated with it. The document tree is shown below. Right? Why you are getting this access denied error? Because the bucket is not public or the object is also not public. Right? You cannot access your own things also, because bucket is not public and object is also not public. Now, whenever we come to this particular concept, just to see here. Now, I want to access this particular object. Let it be object 1. This is object 1. This is object 2, object 3, object 4, object 5, object 6. I want to access object 2. Okay, what I have to make? I have to make object 2 as public. Right? I want to make object 2 as a public. Not only object 2, I have to make the bucket as also public. Right? Like somebody wants to enter to your room. Right? So he has to enter the main gate. Right? Then only he can enter to your room. So there is two level, just two level of security. So we have to make bucket as public so that somebody can enter within that bucket, and you have to make the object as public so that we can access that particular object. Right? So if I make object as public but bucket is not public, nobody can enter inside the bucket. Even if you are providing privilege of object, so that is of no use. Somebody can enter your room but not in the main gate, then ultimately you cannot access your room. Right? So in order to access something, you have to make sure that your bucket is also public, object is also public. So previously Amazon provides both types of things, right? First you need to make object as a public, as well as you have to make a bucket as public, then only you can access it. But see how they have changed some strange settings now. So what you have to do, you can see this is your object, right? nitw.jpg your object. So you have a permission tab. Okay. In the permission tab, you can see you are given, you can see here, it is showing the details of access control list ACL. So ACL is basically the read-write permissions. So the object owner is having read-write permission. But you can see due to you can say that bucket is not public. Okay, you cannot enter into this particular object. So what you have to make here, the access control list need to be public. So in order to enable it, you can see also here, this is the option to make it available to the public. Make public access using ACL. But this is disabled here. Right? You can see this is completely disabled here. Right? So as it is disabled, this ACL make public use ACL is there. It indicates that the bucket is not now public, or the access control list is disabled. That's why it is coming and disabled form. Okay. So first you have to make ACL list as a public. So let us go back to bucket. If you go inside the bucket, here also you have you can see a permission tab. See, there are two permission tab. One is inside the bucket you have permission tab. Inside the object you have permission tab. So if you go to this particular permission tab, here you can see block all public access is on. So what you have to make? You have to change this setting. You have to make enable it. That means this public access is now granted. So in order to grant it, you have to write confirm. Now you can see successfully edited the block public access setting for this bucket. Now permission is given to the outsiders to enter into this particular bucket. So note that again I am repeating the steps. Once you click the bucket, you can find a permission tab. And once you click a object, also you can get a permission tab. First, what you have to do, you have to change this, go to your bucket permission tab, not object permission tab. And this block public access, you have to, in earlier it is enabled, it is showing on. So you have to make it off. So simply click edit. It is earlier checked. So you have to uncheck it. Right? Then you have to click save changes. You have to write confirm. Click confirm. Then you can see the block public access is now off. Block is off. That means you are allowed to access the object. Okay, another thing is we'll see now whether it is possible to extract an object or not. So let us go again inside a particular object, that is nitw.jpg. Have you changed the setting or any difficulty in the changing the setting?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so now if you go to the permission tab, again you can see here, you are not getting this option. Make public using ACL is disabled. Even if you go to this object URL and refresh it, again you are getting an error. What you have to do here, this enforce policy you have to change. Okay, so if I click, I have clicked here, right, under the permission tab, this bucket has a bucket owner enforce setting applied for object ownership. So when object owner enforced is applied, use bucket policy to control access. You have to click here. Once you click here, you can see ACL is disabled here. So I am enabling it. Okay, I'm clicking ACL enabled and I acknowledge that ACL will be restored. Okay, this you have to agree. Okay, then only the ACL is going to be enabled. Right, so what I did, I go to the object permission tab. Okay, object permission tab. Then here you will find ACL ownership information. You have to click it and enable it. Now it is enabled, right? So now if you go to your object is nitw.jpg. If you click it, Then in the permission tab or in the object action, you can see make public using ACL. So after ACL is enabled also, you can see you have not able to extract your object, right? So, but when you click this make public using ACL, it is giving you a warning that when public read access is enabled and not blocked by block public access setting, anyone in the world can access the specified object. But we have changed this block public access to on. Earlier it is on, but we have changed to off, right? So anybody can access this object when you click make public. Now, can anybody refresh the link which I have said in the chat box, this link, and you can see this particular image. Are you able to see this image?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. Now, what you can do, I'm giving you some time. You can share your object in the chat box so that other can see. Like the way you are seeing my image, I can also see your image. All of you share, those who got. So let us see what are the images they have uploaded. I'm clicking Andrew's image. Yes, this image is uploaded by him, right? So I'm able to see. Anybody can see, not only one person, any number of persons can see it simultaneously. Let us go to the next one by Rujina. Okay. Okay, still it is not on. Change the setting. Rujina, change the setting.
Yes, sir.
I think you have not changed the block public access. So go to your bucket and check two things. Go to your bucket, go to the permission tab, change block public access to off. Block all public access to off. Earlier it is on. By default it is on. Make it is off. This is the first one you have to do. You have to cross check. And inside your object, you go to your permission tab. Under access controls list, you will get some message. Click it, make ACL enabled. Once ACL is enabled, right? As ACL is enabled, I am not getting any information here. Then you have to go for object action. Click here, make public using ACL. Okay, once you do it, we are able to see your image. So change it.
Sir, the last part, if you could tell once again when we went to access control list, ACL.
Yeah, ACL is earlier disabled, right? Here you can see there is some message and some link is there.
Yes, sir.
Here it is not showing. Once you click that link, ACL, you can enable it. You click the line, one sentence is there. You have to click it, make ACL enabled, then object action to make public using ACL. Then we will able to see your image. demo.rtf file I am able to download now. I think it is a Word document. Yes, you can see. This is the message you have written, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, there is another one you can see here. See, this is a scanned page, so that is uploaded as a image. So we are able to see it. Anything you can upload, right? Not necessarily these documents. What we are looking, what we are doing in Amazon S3. Anything you want to share with each other, that you can do it, right? But you can see here, once you are done with this one, you can see I have given the permission for this particular object. What about the other object? So let me see. If I go for demo.txt, wait, again there is a URL for demo.txt. The URL is nothing but https:// name dot s3 dot amazon aws dot com slash demo.txt. That is your object name. So once you click this one, you will get an error. Can anybody tell why you are getting error? Why are you getting error?
We made the bucket public, but we haven't made the object as public yet.
Exactly. Okay. So imagine that O2 is now public, but we have not made change to O1, O3, up to let's say O6. Right? These are not public. These are still private. So you may ask me a question here. Suppose I have 100 buckets. Let's say I have 100 objects in each bucket. So do I need to go change the setting for each and every bucket, each and every object, make it public? So it is not practically possible, right? So you want entire thing to be make public, right? So for this, better you can go for bucket policy. So if we can set a particular policy which is enforced to the bucket, okay. So the same policy is applicable to all the objects, right? If it is applicable, then doesn't matter whether it is you have one object or you have 100 object or have 5,000 object, you can make them public, right? But before going to do, I'll show you the same process again to make it public. What you will do now, you can go to demo.txt. It is another object. Go to object action, make public using ACL, and make public. So it is public now. Now, if I share this URL with you, you can see what message I have written inside this demo.txt file. For example, if I open it here, you can see the message which I have written inside that we are studying Amazon S3 is displayed here, right? Okay, so let us go to the next one. Okay, let me open this one in another tab so that I can show you while we are discussing versioning. Okay, now the fourth one we'll see how to create a bucket policy, right? So the main idea behind bucket policy is to write a policy which is going to be applicable for each and every object inside a bucket, right? That is our overall idea. So you go to your bucket, go to permission. In permission tab, you can see here there is a bucket policy. Okay, go to, this is your path, you can see also, right? Sometimes you can click this one to take a decision. Like you are Amazon S3, inside Amazon S3 you have bucket name is Sanjaya NITW, right? And if when you go inside a particular object, it is showing the path is architecture.png. So you can determine whether you are inside the object or inside the bucket. So now you have to be inside your bucket. And bucket permission tab, where you have changed block public access to off, right? Below that, you have bucket policy. Okay. So I told you bucket policy is written in JavaScript file. Okay. That I told you here, right? JavaScript object notation file, right? JSON file. Those who are compatible in JSON, they can easily write the policy which they want to enforce to a particular object. So this bucket policy provide access to the object stored in the bucket. Bucket policies do not apply to objects owned by other accounts. Okay, you can enforce to the bucket, but if it is related to other account, then it is not going to access it, right? So once you click edit, you can see two different things it is showing here. It is showing the policy examples. It is showing you the policy generator. So let us go to the policy examples. So in this page, you can see you will find numerous examples by which you can understand how to write the policy. Okay, like here says that this section presents an examples of typical use cases for bucket policies. And these policies use DOC example bucket as the resource value. Okay, and you can use also the wildcard character, that is star, in Amazon resource name and other values, right? To grant permission, or if you want to deny permissions. Like you want to grant the permission to all, then also you can use wildcard character star. If you want to deny permission to all set of objects, then also you have to use wildcard character star. So let me show you some of the examples. Like this is an example of a bucket policy, right? So if you look into this bucket policy, you can understand, right? It's very, very simple. It is showing you the version number. Okay, like timestamp. Today's date maybe one timestamp. Today's date and time maybe one timestamp. Then it is asking what kind of policy, that is ID. So they are saying put object policy, which is written as PUT OBJ policy. And these are the statements you have to mention, right? If there is any condition, any action you want to take, what is the effect, what is the principle. Generally, we put a wild character in the principle, right? Not only this policy, you can see a lot of policies. This policy is related to AWS KMS, key management systems, right? So number of policies are there. So if you go through these policies, you can easily understand that how to write the policies in using JSON file, right? But sometimes the users are not also comfortable to go through these many files to write their own policy, right or not? Suppose a new language is coming, right, through which you can write. All the user may not feel comfortable to understand the language and write the policy. So what they actually do, they want some kind of portals or some web page through which they can select some of the actions, select some, you can say, principal, or select the Amazon resource name, or provide the Amazon resource name and generate the policy. So for which here you can see there is a second option that is called as policy generator. But before going to the policy generator, I request you to copy this bucket Amazon resource name by clicking here. So it is bucket ARN is copied. That is ARN colon AWS colon S3 triple colon my bucket name. You have to copy this one. Either you copy and store somewhere, or simply you copy it. Right? Now all of you click policy generator. So this is your policy generator. So I'm sharing this link also with you. So this is your AWS policy generator. So you can say it is a tool through which you can create your policy by providing certain information, right? And these policies is going to control access to your AWS S3 bucket, right? So there is a three-step process. This process is very, very simple. First step is you have to select a policy type. So there are different type of services provided by AWS. One is called as SQS. SQS is called a simple queuing service. We'll see later about this one. Now we are discussing about S3. Similarly, we have BPC, we have IAM, which is called as Identity and Access Management. Another is called as SNS service. These are the different services provided by AWS. But as we are discussing S3, I am selecting here S3 bucket policy. Now my first step is done. I have to choose what for which service you want to create a policy. So we want to create a policy for Amazon S3. That's why I have selected S3 bucket policy. Now add statement. A statement is the formal description of a single permission. See a description of elements that you can use in statements. Like I told you, you can apply that block public access or open public access. That's why you can see effect may be allow or deny. You can create a policy to block all the public access, or you can allow all the persons to access your object. Either you allow it or you deny it. You can select out of these two. Suppose you want to allow. Now in the principle, if you want a certain particular user to access the policy, you can mention it. But if you want to make it public, then you can use wild character. Like I told you here, right? Wild character. In bucket policy, I mentioned about wild character, right? Here you can see wild card character, that is star. So for example, I want to apply this is to all, right? You can see if I put star, then it is applicable for all. Now AWS service is Amazon S3, it is by default. Now certain action you can select here. A lot of actions you have here. For creating bucket, you have action, create job, you have actions, right? Lot of actions are there. So I'm taking very simple actions. Like there is an action called as get object, and another action is called as put object. You can see here, get object, another one is called as put object. Put object. Yeah, I have selected only two actions. You can select as many actions possible, but you have to understand each and every actions. What are the use of these actions? And for your requirement, you have to decide what are the actions you have to select to fulfill that particular requirement. Accordingly, you can select it. Now, it is asking you Amazon resource name. That's why I told you, you have to copy this particular number. This is your ARN. Okay, this ARN you have to paste here. Okay, this number starts with ARN colon AWS colon S3 triple column followed by your bucket name. Then here you can see what it says. ARN should follow the following format, right? That is ARN colon AWS S3 colon bucket name slash. We put a slash, then key name. Key name is your star. Okay, but if you have multiple ARN also, so you have to use comma to separate multiple values, right? So once you done this one, you have to click add statement. Once you click add statement, in step 3 you can generate the policy. And once you click add statement, here you can see it is showing you the summary. That is, this is principal, effect is allow, action is S3 dot get object, S3 dot put object, resource name is this one, condition is none. Okay, and it enables you to generate the policy. Are you able to catch this thing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, now I am clicking generate policy. So this policy, as I mentioned, it is a JSON document. So you can edit it, you can do anything, right? Here you can see this is the ID version statement. It is having two actions. One is get object of action, put object action. Effect is allow. This is the resource name, and principal is star. So this policy I am going to put here. Okay, you generate your policy. Look into this and generate your policy. S3 bucket policy you select, allow, then star. Select two action, get object and put object. Paste your ARM name here, followed by forward slash and star. Then click add statement. Then you will see the following statements are generated. Then generate your policy. Once you generate your policy, you will get a file like this. Okay, so copy this policy and paste here and save changes. Click save changes. If there is any error, you will get it. And now you can see once you click it, there is a red color button you can see here which shows public accessible. So your bucket is now publicly accessible. Are you getting up to this? Or any doubt till now? Okay. Can anybody share the policy in the chat box? Once you generate, can you please share? Okay. So this part is also done, right? Manage access to permission of an object and create the bucket policy. It is done. So now it is publicly accessible, right? This bucket is publicly accessible, but objects are not publicly accessible, right? Okay, in the similar manner you can do for objects also. There is no issue. You have to only understand how this policies actually works. Similarly, this architecture.png is another file. So I want to make it public. Okay, so you can also see this architecture.png file. Okay, now we left with only one task. And the task is we learn the concept of bucket versioning, right? And also we learn the concept of delete marker. Okay. So in order to make it, what you have to do, you have to go to your bucket, again to the permission tab. Okay, not the permission tab. You go to your bucket, go to properties. In properties, you can see bucket versioning. Okay, here you can see there is a bucket versioning, right? Versioning is a means of keeping multiple variants of an object in the same bucket. Under the same bucket, if you want to put multiple buckets, multiple objects with the same name, so it is a multiple variant. So you can do it by the help of bucket versioning. So you can use versioning to preserve, retrieve, and restore every version of every object stored in Amazon S3 bucket. So let us see how actually it works. And with versioning also, you can easily recover from both unintended user action and application failures. Okay, if application is failed, you want to roll back to previous action or previous state, that also possible by the help of versioning. So click edit, then previously by default it is suspended. So now you have to enable it. Okay. So versioning is now enabled. You can see versioning is enabled. Now suppose I want to change a particular image, or let me show you in the form of text file. So earlier I have written we are studying Amazon S3. Next I am writing next class we are going to study Amazon EC2. Okay, I have changed something, but the file name is still demo.txt. Okay, so let me upload this object, this modified object. Now, how many objects are there here? Can anybody tell how many objects are there? How many objects are there?
3.
3. Okay, so let me upload the demo.txt file again, but it is a modified file which consists of one more line. I have opened it, then uploaded it. Okay, so now also you can see how many objects are there.
3.
It is 3 only. Okay, but actually there are 4 objects are there, right? 2 variants of demo.txt file. But how we are going to notice it? For this, you can see there is a button here that shows show version. So if I enable it, then you can see architecture PNG file which we have uploaded, version ID is null. Demo.txt file, version ID is null. nitw.jpg file, version ID is null. But demo.txt file which you have recently uploaded, there is a version ID. It also shows you before enabling versioning, these 3 objects are uploaded. These objects are uploaded. After enabling versioning, this is the only object that is uploaded. That's why their version ID is null. Here one specific version ID is there. Like whenever you are designing a particular software, suppose you have released version 1.0. You found there is some bug, minor bug. So you released version 1.1. Again some bug, version 1.2, version 1.3, version 1.4, and so on. But you want to add a new feature or you want to add a new module. So we call that as a version 2.0. So minor changes, you can change a digit after one dot. Major changes, that is before dot, right? Like that. Here, the version ID is null because it is before versioning. After versioning means you will get a version ID. But if you go for the demo.txt, where is demo.txt? This is your demo.txt, right? So let me share this link with you. Earlier you have checked demo.txt file. It is showing you this particular message, right? We are studying Amazon S3. Now can you refresh it and tell me what it is showing?
It's showing the updated message.
Exactly. So you can see it is showing an updated message. So what we have learned here, the Amazon always points to the latest object. If there are multiple variants are also there, it is always pointing to the latest variant. Then you ask me that how to go to the previous variant. Okay, suppose I want previous variant. Sometimes we say that this version is not compatible with our system. We want to install the older version, or you are familiar with the features provided by older versions. So what you can do here, if you go to the demo.txt, you will see a version ID is equal to null is added. Or you can copy it, and if I paste it here, then I am getting the old one. Okay, here you can see in the URL in comparison to the last two URL. You can see this is demo.txt. Here demo.txt question mark version ID is equal to null. So if you click that one, then you will get the old object. But by default, it is pointing to your new object. It is not pointing to your old object, right? But if any specific version is there, you have to specify the version ID in order to separate it. Okay, so this is actually the benefit of the versioning concept. Now, as I mentioned in the versioning, also one of the advantages is that sometime by mistake, if you delete something, like for example, by mistake, I have deleted demo.txt. Okay, let me write a delete. I have deleted. Okay, I have deleted this demo.txt. Now the number of object is 2. Right? How to retrieve it? Like whenever you delete a particular thing, it is stored where? It is stored in. It is generally stored where? In the recycle bin, right? But once you clean the recycle bin, it is gone, permanently gone. So when you have deleted this file, and if you enable this show version, so you will see number of object is 5. Earlier number of object is 4, right? 2 versions of demo.txt file. But now if you enable show version, you are getting number of object is 3. What are the objects? You can see demo.txt, which is marked as a delete marker with a version ID. Okay, and size is 0 bytes. It is 0 byte. And demo.txt, this is a version ID. And demo.txt, it is a version ID is null. So we are looking into 3 different variants of demo.txt file. Right? But if you want to restore this demo.txt file, simply you have to click this one and you have to delete it. And it is asking you to write here to confirm the deletion. Deletion means you want to delete it from the recycle bin. Again, you want to move it into your object list. So you have to write here permanently delete. So if you click it, delete object, now you can see, you will see there are 3 different objects, or if you enable show version, then you can see there are 4 different objects. Are you getting delete marker? Anybody getting delete marker after deleting a particular file? Are you able to get delete marker? Anyone? Yes or no? Simply, you have to see here that one of the object you have to delete. For example, architecture.png. I am deleting this file unintentionally. Okay. So if I type here delete, then it is going to be deleted. Right? You can see now the file is deleted. Right? So when you, this is, show version is disabled here. Show version is not enabled here. So when you click show version, enable the show version, then you can see architecture.jpg file, png file is there. It is marked as a type is delete marker with a version ID and size is 0 byte. And once you delete it from here, then it is going to be restored. So you have to type here permanently delete. Delete object. Okay. So now you can see the number of object is 4, or if you disable show version, you can see total number of object is 3. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the main purpose of the delete marker in Amazon S3. Now you again modify the demo.txt file. You have demo.txt file. Once you modify, you add another statement. Suppose I am writing cloud computing. Okay, so let me upload this file again. I'll upload it. And also you have seen once you upload the different variant of the file, you are not changing its permission. Permission is as it is, right? So I'm uploading another version of this file. It is showing error. Let me check. The information will no longer be available. You have to navigate away from the page. Okay. So it is showing network error. Yeah, now upload is successful. So if you enable the show version, then you can see there are 3 different variants of the file. Again, you refresh it. So you can see there are 3 different lines. Always it is pointing to the latest one, not the old one. Okay. But if you need specific version, you can simply click that particular version. Okay, you can get this URL here. If you click it, it is the second version. Okay, let me open it. Then you can see this is the second version, right? Not the latest version that you can get. Okay, so like this way, you can do a lot of things related to Amazon S3. You can explore other things that is available in Amazon S3. But I told you only simple 5 different tasks. But try to explore other things that are available in Amazon S3. And before leaving, what you have to do, you have to delete these files, right? So let me delete all the files. Don't directly log out your Amazon S3 session. You have to delete all the files. Okay, and also you have to delete the bucket also. Go to the buckets. First, you have to make the bucket is empty. Empty means all the objects are going to be deleted. If it is not deleted, okay, now all the objects are deleted. Total 8 objects are there earlier. Then I want to delete my bucket. You have to type your bucket name here for deleting your bucket. Okay, so in this way you can do the experiments related to Amazon S3. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask now.
Sir, is S3 free or?
S3 is free up to 5 GB.
Okay.
5 GB for a period of 12 months only. After 12 months, again, you have to pay the amount, right?